He told me he'd kill himself if I ever left, that if I walked away, it meant I never loved him at all. For the longest time, I believed him. But the day I finally said goodbye, something in me changed forever. This isn't just a breakup story. It's a story about surviving emotional blackmail, reclaiming power, and the revenge that looks like peace. If you've ever been trapped in a toxic relationship that fed on your guilt and fear, hit that like button. Subscribe to TrueTears English Emotional Story and stay with me, because this might be the most important story you hear today. I never knew what emotional captivity felt like until I loved someone who used love as a weapon. He wasn't always like this. In the beginning, he was soft-spoken, wounded in a way that made you want to take care of him. He told me about his trauma, his pain, his childhood, and I, like many empathetic people do, thought, maybe I can be the one who doesn't abandon him. Maybe I'll be the reason he finally believes he's lovable. But slowly, the weight of that mission became unbearable. He started measuring my love by how much I endured. If I cried because of something he said, I was being dramatic. If I wanted a break, I was triggering his trauma. If I told him I felt invisible, he would spiral and say he'd rather die than be without me. And I believed him, 'cause it wasn't just manipulation. He had attempted suicide before. Twice. Once after I merely expressed needing space. That kind of fear wraps around your throat like a rope. You stop thinking about your own well-being and start living to keep someone else alive. I wasn't in a relationship. I was on suicide watch. To the emotional tug-of-war. The worst part? He wasn't a villain all the time. There were days when he'd look at me with genuine warmth and whisper, "I don't know what I'd do without you." On his good days, he seemed rational, even grateful. He'd apologize for being too much, promise to seek help, even go to therapy for a week or two. But then the bad days would return, darker, louder, more suffocating, and I'd feel like I was living with two versions of the same man. One was broken and begging for love. The other was emotionally abusive and convinced I owed him my life. And between these two versions, I slowly lost mine. I stopped talking to friends. I stopped sleeping. I even stopped thinking about what I wanted, because my needs always made things worse. But here's what most people don't understand about abusive relationships. You don't stay because you're weak. You stay because you're afraid. that leaving will destroy someone else. And that fear is paralyzing. The turning point wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a screaming match or an act of violence. It was a quiet Tuesday evening. I'd cooked dinner. He didn't touch it. Instead, he started another rant about how I didn't understand his pain, how selfish I was, how lucky I was that he even chose to be with someone like me. And then he said it again. If you ever leave me, I swear, I'll kill myself, and it'll be your fault. I didn't cry. I didn't fight. I just stared at him. And in that moment, something broke inside me. Or maybe something finally healed. I remember walking into the bathroom, locking the door, and whispering to myself in the mirror, "This is not love. This is hostage-taking." And for the first time in months, I asked myself the one question he never let me ask. What about me? I knew leaving wouldn't be easy. I also knew I couldn't do it in person, not safely. So, I started planning. I backed up every message, every voice note, every threat. I told 2 friends the full story, parts one had hidden out of shame. I created a digital trail, contacted a mental health hotline for guidance, and gave someone close to him an emergency heads up. And then I broke up with him over the phone. He screamed, begged, threatened, then wept like a child. "You're killing me. I'll do it. I swear I will. I hope you never sleep again after what you've done to me." But this time, I didn't fold, because I had finally realized something. His survival was never my responsibility, but mine always was. He did show up at my door once, banging, yelling, texting me non-stop, but I had already moved out. The week before, I blocked him, changed my number, sent all the screenshots to someone in his family who could intervene. After that, I disconnected completely. He tried to smear me online, tried to guilt mutuals. But here's the thing about emotional abusers. They always expect you to come back. They never expect you to heal. And that is the sweetest revenge. Because today, I'm not just free. I'm thriving. I've rebuilt friendships. I'm seeing a therapist. I smile without guilt. I sleep without fear. And I've learned the most powerful truth of all. Walking away isn't cruelty. Self-rescue. He thought he destroyed my spirit. He thought his threats would trap me forever. But here I am, whole, healing, and no longer carrying the weight of someone else's survival. And maybe the real revenge to choosing peace over pity, to someone only loves you when they can control you. That's not love, it's leverage. And you don't owe your life, your happiness, or your soul to anyone who treats your care like currency. You matter, and choosing you will never make you heartless. If this story hit close to home, give it a like. Share it with someone who needs the courage to walk away. And tell us in the comments, what's the one moment that helped you finally say, enough is enough? Subscribe to TrueTears English Emotional Story, where emotions speak and healing begins, one story at a time.